Hello everyone, this is Kirby64 from Genby OW, and today I'm going to be reviewing a Masters Genji player. Now, if you look in the gameplay right now, the rank is actually plat. To explain this, so some context behind this. This player was mid-Masters, I think, last time he played, which was like a year ago. So to avoid like having to throw in Masters, he decided to grab a friend's account. So that's why the rank is platinum. But he was like Masters um prior to this VOD review. So a couple notes before we get into this. I'm going to be looking over this gameplay, and some big issues are activity. So like how active you are in fights, mechanical skills, positioning, cooldown usage, and um, main objectives. So let's get right into it. So as we see, he's playing Genji on Watchpoint Gibraltar, and pretty standard starting position right here. Most people usually either start on this high ground right here. If you don't see the drawing tool, I'm gonna pick a different color. Let me see. Wait, this this is better. Yeah. So most people start on this high ground right here. But this is like mainly this is pretty standard. So like this high ground right here. Oh god. Ooh, thunder. Sorry, this is being recorded a bit late. But anyways, I see that this is like pretty standard starting positions right here. Some people like starting on the bridge, mainly just for poke damage to begin the game, and some people start in this little room right here, like this room to the left. Now, if we see our comp, we are playing, I believe we're playing double shield with Ashe, Lucio, versus Sigma, and an Ana. So, take on this high ground right here. So this is a bit of a different position. Now, it's not, I wouldn't say objectively worse than this bridge right here in this left room and the room inside here, but usually you can do way more if you're in this room right here, opposed to this high ground that our Kochi is taking. Now, from this position, there's a couple things that we can do. Now, it is within the 15-meter range to get to any targets, right? It's like we can clearly dash this Genji right here, but we can't dash targets like this Ana, who is alone on point. If we were up here, this would be a lot easier. Also, controlling this high ground is very important because it is a power position. When we control this high ground, there's not much the enemy team can do besides send someone up here to deal with us, which is sending resources towards someone that they is really just an annoying fly. Whereas with this position, we're mainly looking for, I don't know, easy targets to get. So, our Kochi spots, you spot the Genji, he gets really low right here, so, really good. That was a really good mechanical skill right there. That was, yeah, this was just really good right here. This was a great punish. You were in a good position, you were well within range, you burn your dash, get the kill, and that was very clean. So, you use dash right there. I don't know, it's whatever. You're just trying to get away from someone shooting at you, and you're already like half health right here. So you're missing all this health, you want to get back to your team, that's all understandable. Well, you're getting some ult charge off this ball right here. So that's pretty good. Now, we see this Doom Fist up here, going on this high ground. So yeah, so we see this Doom Fist crawling out right here. on defense, we do want to address him, so we do a good job right here. We start shooting some shots. He punches in, and okay, so this dash right here. Um, so on the first point about mechanics, this is why it's important right here. So if we landed a dash right here, let's look at his health real quickly. So you already know his health, and it's nearly full. So this dash right here isn't in like insanely effective. Now, even though he doesn't have any abilities, right? He has no abilities. Um, he can still get away, right? Because he's Doomfist. And also, supports right here, I believe. I believe this is an Ana right here. So, we need to be careful. When we use dash right here, we are putting ourselves in a really dangerous position without a disengage. So, start prefacing with the rules of dash. So, the rules of Swift Strike are very simple. So, Swift Strike, 1, we use it to kill people. Acquire kills. Very self-explanatory. The next one, the next rule, right? So number 2 is positioning. If we are using it for positioning, then what we're looking for is to reposition ourselves, get away from danger, or disengage. And the last one is bait cooldowns. So baiting abilities. When we're doing this dash right here, we're doing none of that. I want to preface that. We're doing none of those rules right here. We can't get the kill because he's like missing the ever slightest amount of HP I've ever seen in my life. He has no cooldowns to bait out, and we aren't positioning ourselves in a good like area, right? We always want to be on high grounds. We want to be near the enemy team within 15-meter range. We just burn our dash right here, and preface on mechanics, we miss this dash right here. So we're gonna see our Kochi. He's or actually, I'm just gonna be talking to you directly. You're gonna be you miss a lot of these dashes. Like you just miss a ton of dashes, which is not good. And the way you fix that is just practice. And that's why I told you that this guy was mid-masters like a year ago, so keep that in mind. Now, we start shooting this Doomfist. I think, honestly, he had no abilities, so you could have just kept shooting at him. But it's all fine. We're alive. This monkey jumps in. We start shooting him. Now, a bit on the activity part, right? So, what you do a lot is you don't really start shooting until you're sure that you're gonna hit them. Preface on this part right here, right? He burns his bubble, you start shooting, and then you suddenly stop, right? You just stop shooting. You have more than enough ammo. Oh god. You have more than enough ammo to put into this monkey. And this monkey is worth 500 HP worth of ult charge. So if you take him down, you'll probably get your ult meter back up to like here. Like that's about 60% off of one tank. Just be aware that you need to be more active in these fights, right? So start shooting him after holding shurikens for a bit. Yeah, great kill on the Genji. I don't know if that was a bit of luck or comms, but as you can see, like there was no calming about like the Genji being low. I don't know. It might have just been luck, but I'm pretty sure you didn't know that Genji was so low. But again, you could have killed that person, so that's fine. And there is a theoretical fourth rule to dash, is killing people who you are sure that you can kill. Now, here's the first major mistake in this VOD. You dash this Ana right here, or you start challenging this Ana. So, one thing that Anas are always going to do, And one thing you should always assume is that if you start attacking them, and if they do have it, which they usually will, and we always assume they do, is they're either going to nade you or they're going to sleep you. So you want to keep a bit farther of a range than you usually do. Like these first two kills on the Genji were amazing. Instead of getting this close right here and using dash, I think you could have, like, you probably should have just stood like back here, like right here. Back here you should have stood, so then you can just shoot at this target right here. Because this Ana is focusing whoever is over here, which I believe is your Sigma. They aren't going to be focusing you, so when they nade, it's probably going to be in front of them, right here. So if you're over here, it's going to be harder for them to nade you. And you always want to assume that they have nade because it is such a dangerous cooldown, and if you don't assume that they have it, then it makes engages a lot more dangerous. Because Ana is like one of those targets where, like, yeah, it's easy to kill them, but if they have either of their cooldowns, you're basically dead if you get hit by any one of them. If you get hit by sleep, they can just damage combo you, and then you're dead. If they anti you, if you can't heal, they just shoot you, and then you're dead. So you want to be careful of those cooldowns. So you go in, you get antied, and you should have died right here. I do not know how you get out of here, but you do. And it is mind-blowing. You should have died right there. That was, like, heavy, like, it was a pretty bad engage. So, you play this really aggressive Genji at the very start, but then, like, it changes over the course of the game. So, you start, like, trying to punish this Doom. He gets killed right there, and then you're still out here, you get shot by the Ana, and then you get killed. There's a shield right behind you. You should use that. That's minor positioning. You should have just used that. Alright, going back to this next death right here. So, that's the first death. Positioning there is not a good idea. Honestly, you can be way more aggressive with your positioning. You could honestly be right here, or on this high ground up here. Or you could be in the server room behind you, because there's people screwing up your team in there. Now, let's look at the situation. So, you've lost your Ana, but you have killed Doomfist and Monkey. So that means they have lost a severe amount of pick potential from the Doomfist, and they've lost a lot of their tanking. So they have no main tank, besides maybe the ball. So you just play slow here. You play way too quickly right here, and that's what gets you killed. Like, if you're that low in front of these people, then, like, rather than playing here, you should play at this corner or on this high ground at blue box. Or tarp. I don't know. Most people call it either blue box or tarp. So you skip the kill cam right here, and you have numbers right here, so you shouldn't really be losing. So we need to get back, so use dash right here, roll out. So, okay, one thing, we lose our Orisa right here, so you need to play a lot slower than you usually do, and you need to just be looking for any potential picks. Now, here's a thing about the activity, right? You spend a good, like, 10 seconds not shooting anything, right? So, right here, you come into the fight, you look around a bit, just la 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 la. Hello, I'm a Genji. And then Doomfist comes in and then he just destroys you, right? And you could have done way more. You could have wall climbed right here. You could have wall climbed onto this high ground right here. You could have prevented the Doom from even coming in on you. You had dash. You saw this Doom come in. And I'm pretty sure you heard it too. So you could have just dashed up here. You could have just dashed up to this high ground. And playing up here allows you to be way more active. And this Sigma got this Lucio, so if you were up here, like, if you were just anywhere near this area, like this Lucio should be dead. But instead, you kind of just sat around and did nothing. And you do this a lot. Like, I notice you do this a lot. So, you go in, you get punched, you're dead now. And let's preface that you're still at 80. You're missing quite a bit of your ult when you should already have it. If you were just a lot more active in these fights, then you really could have had your ult a lot earlier. So that gets into my next point. APM, or actions per minute. Your APM is pretty slow. It's very low. Before you shoot at anyone, you always look at them, and I don't know if it's just like visual confirmation, but you should be pressuring these corners way more. And this guy is right in the open. He's free ult charge for you. You should start shooting that guy immediately. And I noticed that in this a lot, you're gonna see that you play this huge punish game. Like, you try to play the most punish-heavy Genji ever. Like, you try to punish everything the enemy tries to do to your backline, while not trying to do anything yourself. And this is probably the weakest Genji playstyle that you can have. Playing for a punish game, like trying to punish this Genji who went in, it's not effective. It doesn't get much done. And what do I mean by this? I just mean that, like, yeah, you'll get a kill, but like you'll only have like maybe 15% ult from that. And that's if you just damaged them only. But usually your teammates are going to be shooting these people. And you don't really like play Genji like how he should be playing. Which I don't mean to offend, but like it's a bit weird how you play him. So, like, see, like right here, you play this huge like punish game. Like you could be like a lot of the times you're memeing around in your backline when you could be like up here. You could be shooting down at this dude. You could be shooting down at this dude, or even just like sitting on the cart. I don't know about that last point, but you can definitely just be like way farther up as Genji, because you have dash and reflect. His cooldowns are made for that. So you go for poke, and that's like a bit on the mechanical part. Mechanics are pretty weak, and that's probably due to not playing it in like a year. You go for a shot here. If you're going for this target right here, you missed by quite a bit, right? So his head is right here, your crosshair is here, and your crosshair was here, right? And then you go for another shot, your crosshair was here, and his head is here. So mechanics are pretty weak. And also just target priority right here. Usually, like, your first target as a Genji, it's either killable targets or farmable targets. So farmable targets means tanks, and killable targets means any squishy who's low. So you should be... So that Lucio, like, we're pretty sure he's not low at all. We're going to assume that he has full health. So instead, we should be farming Blade off this guy, because we're still at 90% and like 2 minutes, about 2 minutes, 3 minutes have passed in this game. We go to try and punish this monkey, and like, also like I don't know if it's kind of like you're just minding your own business and not like trying to do more, right? I worded that really badly. You're kind of like, you focus on one thing and then you immediately try to focus on something else. It feels like you're trying to do too much. And a lot of people suffer from this. If you're going to focus one thing, then focus that thing, right? Definitely could have just focused this Winston. If he dies quicker, then you don't have to worry about him anymore. you always want to clear out any enemies who are in the area. So, yeah. So this fight, you kind of just you're not active. Um, you have ult now. You're still memeing around, not shooting. Like this guy doesn't get shot for a clean 10, 15 seconds. Like you didn't even shoot him. Like look at this. Look at this. Look at this. So this monkey goes in. He pops primal. You go away, and then you just look at this Lucio. Like look how long you looked at this dude without shooting him. Like you need to put some pressure on. Like the very start of this game was really good. You played a very good punish game, and you like right here, like all punish. That was all punish right there. Now we're gonna go in. We get nanoed. We go in with blade. We get the Ana. So that Ana was already half HP. This is blade mechanics 101. So alright, let's put some numbers on here. So blade by itself does 120 damage. And then with nano, it does 50% more. So 180 damage with nano. Now, let's put Nanoblade with dash. So dash does 75 damage now. So the combined amount would be 255. Right. So 255 damage. Or wait. Yeah, that's 255 damage. That Ana was probably like half HP, so about 100. You just needed to slash that dude. So you waste a bit of your blade right here. You also burn dash, which is never something you want to do. You burn your dash right here, and now you have no mobility to get to the enemies. So now it's going to be insanely hard to kill anyone. Granted, they do pop beat, but you definitely could have killed this Lucio. Like, you could have gotten another kill right here. So you finally get the kill after the blade ends. And that was just mechanics. That was good aim right there. You're, again, spacing out. Like, again, you space out right here. So you're just not shooting. And you finally shoot. And it doesn't hit. You go for the dash. He's not killable. So he gets away. And, yeah. Alright. That was good pressure right here. Now, this is good. Right? You should be up here. You should be trying to get your ult. And yeah, that dash is acceptable. You're just trying to get back to your team. Fight hasn't started yet. But you want to make sure you have that dash before the fight starts. Now, again, like this is what you should be doing. You should be up here. You should be like preferably you should be on this you should be on this high ground right here. Preferably, you should be on this high ground. Because like you also back off a lot. Like again, you back off a lot. Like, it's just an Ana and a ball. Like, you can just free shoot into this hallway and probably get, like, 10, 15% of your blade. You shoot one volley and then you back up. Like, what are they going to kill you with? What, they're going to suddenly do, like, 500 damage to you? No, they're not. It's 70 damage from Ana bullets, and then ball does, like, I don't know, peanuts to you. It's nothing. So you waste quite a bit of time here. So good shots, good aim. And a thing that can help you improve like reactionary wise is definitely increase your APM. You're very slow in all of these fights. Your mouse doesn't move around that much. I don't know like about your own body and like how it works, but like you should be shooting at these people. Like even if you're low, like you need to like you don't do much, right? You kind of went in. You burn dash here for no good reason. Like you try to kill a ball who has probably 500 HP left still. Let's see. You land some shots right here. Yeah, you land some shots right there. that's like 500 HP. You're not gonna burst that down. Like, in no way. And especially if it's ball. He can just click shift and then you can't even hit headshots on him anymore. So you burn dash right here. You have not burned any cooldowns. You have not baited any cooldowns. You are repositioning yourself to try and kill them, but they're not killable. So it's just not a good dash. So now they're going to try and punish you, and they're really bad. So you get away with it. You do take a big hit right there, but you still get away because they're bad. But you don't want to do that, right? You want to make good. You want to play smart, right? And now you're forced to get back and get heals. You try and punish this Genji. He does not die. He was not killable in the first place. If you had dash right here after that dynamite, you would have killed these two people. You've killed this ball and you would have killed this Genji easily if you just saved dash. You want to keep those rules in mind before you dash in, right? You dash again, not a killable target, and you get punished right there, right? So again, is this guy one? We don't know, so we assume he's full health. Does he still have his cooldowns? Yes, he does. Can he kill us? Most definitely. Is anyone there to help? Yes. So, like, this is a very sloppy play right here. And if you're going to fully commit, you need to buffer a wall climb here. Because now you're going to get punished and you're dead. And let's say you are the carry of the team. If you are carrying and you die, then your team loses your carry and you can't win anymore because your team's win condition is you, and if you're dead, then you can't carry anymore. Your team can't win without you, and that's how carrying works. Now, another big thing, with like just general tips on carrying, if you want to carry, like you want to keep this number as low as you can, and you also want to try to not take so much damage before like you go in, because if you take too much damage after going in or before going in, then you're basically dead, since you have to walk and find a health pack or get heals, and that takes about 10-15 seconds, and that is the death timer. It's even worse if you're dead, because then like you can't do anything. So now you're dead. Roll back out here. Start shooting again. Like, shoot. Like, you never shoot. Like, I'd be just spamming. I'd be filling this ball with so much metal. Like, he needs to take more damage. And you do punish the Genji, but, like, you need to, like, you need to do way more in these fights. If you were just up here, or even on top of the ship, like, you could be doing so much more. Like, I know you can do more, too, because your mechanics aren't that bad, considering that even, like, you miss quite a few shots, like, it's not that bad, right? You can still hit these shots right here. And that was an okay dash right there, but you should have died right there again. You're engaging a ball. He probably has 400 HP. There's no way you're going to burst that down without any teammates' help. You burn dash again. They're starting to go in. And you don't really use deflect that much. I'm surprised. You don't really use deflect that often. So, go here. Nice pressure on the Doom. So you get on top of this high ground right here. Now, this is perfect, right? But then you go back. So this is also a good position. You can play here. You can spam this area. You can spam this area. You can spam this entire area right here. Same thing with this low ground right here. You can spam all of that. You can get so much ult charge off of this. And a lot of, like, what you do is you're not really active, right? You get Nano right here. Okay, so this is one of the most crucial moments when we're nanoblading. We go in on this Ana, we miss a shot, we whiff a shot right there, we go for a melee, we Yeah, that melee range, I don't know what that was, but maybe it's a fluke, but um alright. So this Anna has used nade. Do they have sleep? We assume they do. So we should pop this ability. This ability is great for bringing cooldowns, like powerful cooldowns that they have. So that in this case it would be sleep dart. If we can make their sleep dart ours, then we're getting value out of deflect. And just if you're going for nano blade, just pull out the blade. This man should be dead already. And then you could have gotten so much more value. But you get slept right here after not popping deflect. So you lose nano, and now your team is losing the fight. So you get the Genji right there. That's a good kill. Again, you don't shoot, and you're not like shooting. Like you always want to just fill the enemy team with lead the entire time. I don't see a reason not to. Like, do they have any cooldowns that just make damage good for them? No. If you take damage, you're getting closer to death. So, yeah, just keep shooting. Again, alright, good. We're farming the tanks. Farm these tanks, farm these tanks. Yeah, that's good, that's good. But then we back off. Like, we should just keep going in. There's no reason they're backing off. They're giving us space, so claim that space. If they give all of this space right here, claim it. Take this crate at least. Like, even just take this right here. Or, heck, even take this high ground up here. Again, this high ground right here is so good for Genji. The high ground directly above you is also really good. You can farm off this dude. Like, it's just so good to be on these high grounds. Or just be in the fight. Because you spend a lot of time just memeing around in your backline right here. Like, you could have gotten another, like, 10-20% off that Winston if you just kept shooting him. Now we're trying to get on high ground. Pressure this Doom before he goes in. That's good. Good kill. Good pressure. And now, because you accomplished that, now your team has killed another of theirs. Another missed dash. Just want to preface that. We missed another dash right there, so that's not good. Mechanical skills are always important if we want to do that. This Lucio should already be dead. Like, if we had good mechanics, like decent mechanics, that Lucio should be dead already. Because we have essentially another nano because we have Bongo. Bongo increases our damage by 50%. That Lucio should have died a lot earlier. So we go to pressure the Doom. It seems like your map awareness is also a bit off. You constantly, like, you go in and then, like, try to take a different route. You honestly could have just, like, wall climbed. Let's see. Like, find a good example right here. So, like, you go in. You decide, wait, no, I don't want to. Which I don't see a reason why you would do that. You can just wall climb up here. Or you can just start shooting him. Because he's already low. You already know he's low. So, like, right there. He's already low. You can just wall climb up there and then shoot him. Instead, you take this really, really complex route right here just to get one kill. It's good pressure. And now you're actually doing your job. You're building Blade. And then you just... It's so confusing because you start shooting one target and then you immediately start focusing another one. You go for this Anna right here. Miss 2 shots. Not good. You try to reset with your aim. You try to reset. I see that. Shoot the Anna a bit. You should be dead. That Anna is really bad. Like, you should be dead already. Again, like, if they hit you with sleep, you're probably dead. If they hit you with nade, you're probably dead. They already know you're there because they turned around and they heard the 2 shots behind them, so deflect. right? If you just deflected at this moment or the moment before, this Ana would be asleep, and then you get a free kill. And now you're gonna try and dodge all this. Good movement dodging it, but if that Ana was like just a bit more competent, they would have killed you. Now this right here is a bit of tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, right? We see the Doom, but we don't address him, right? We just continue trying to kill this Ana, and then we get punched. We get hard punished by the Doom. Like, this Ana would be dead, but you want to make sure you avoid that Doom. And then the best way to avoid punch is wall climb, because a lot of people don't expect you to just like climb the wall, and then now they just use punch. You kill the Ana, you get the Doom, and then now you're up 2. But now you're actually down 2. So you guys are popping ults, you're trying to win. Team is basically doing a lot of work right now. Okay, so you start farming these tanks. Pole blade right here. I don't know about this blade. So this blade right here, it's good for cleanup. That's all I can see. But then you back off for this 1 second right here. And 1 second in Overwatch, surprisingly, is quite a bit. That's enough time for them to just back up, and now you're not even in range to kill them anymore. Now you do get lucky that this Tracer just decides to not blink or recall at all, and you get the kill off of her, so that's cool. But you only got 1 kill from that, and then you see 9, so that's even worse situation. So there's 2 things you can do in this situation: either die now, or just stay on the point. My rule in solo queue, because I'm assuming you're in solo queue since I don't see anyone in a group. If you're in solo queue, if you're in like clutch moments like these where you need to stay on the point, I just put it on myself to stay on the point, because I assume that none of my teammates are going to try and get on, which is what happens here. And you do try to get back on, but again, like, it fails. So yeah, now you have 2 options. You either die now or you get out. And you choose none of those. You try to fight, and like, you just have like that mindset where it's still winnable. I can still win, and then you get punched right there. And then the enemy team comes for you, and then you die. So now you're staggered, and your team lost is scary. Because like, now that you're dead, they have to wait. Your team has to wait now another 10-20 seconds before they can re-engage. And now your hog is dead, so now that's, yeah, about 20 seconds before, about 20 seconds before you start engaging again, right? So, the fights leading up to this, you're not shooting. Just increase your actions per minute. Like APM, activity, like, it's very low. It's incredibly low. I don't know why, but you're just refuse to shoot them. I don't know why, but yeah. So you start shooting more. You're just memeing, and then when these 2 guys come in, then you start doing stuff, right? You dash. You miss your dash here, and then you go for this ulting Winston. Now, big mistake right here. So, first off, look at where you are. What are you going to do in this position? You're at 50%. You could clearly get Blade if you just looked. God, okay, that was weird. You could get Blade. You could just get all of this if you just looked over here. If you just turn 90 degrees to the left, you would see this entire team ready to be farmed by you. Instead, you look at this monkey, who now pops primal, and now he's not going to die, because he's monkey. He has 1,000 HP. Now this monkey is accomplishing his goal, which is distracting your entire team before they can do anything. Now you are going to get the kill out of this, right? But how much ult did you actually get out of killing that Winston? After killing that Winston? Yeah, 52. So you start at 52 when you primals. Hit some shots. And you end at 60. You've gained 14% from shooting at that monkey. And this is the weak part about helping your team, like, helping your team punish enemy team, like, enemies from going into them. You gained 14% from that exchange, when you could have gained double that just by shooting at these guys. Let your team, just allow your team to deal with whatever they're doing, right? If a monkey's jumping on them, let them do that. Unless, right? Unless the enemy team is, like, full engaging, if it's just a lone monkey, just let him do that. You can get way more ult charge off of these guys. And I guess, like, killing the monkey, like, putting your damage into him is helpful, but you don't want to be exclusively playing a punish game. Like, you already want to be looking at these guys. You want to be shooting at this, right? You instead shoot the Genji right here. You get 4% off of that. And now you're memeing again. You're not doing much right here. Shoot at this Doomfist. He gets killed. But, like, yeah, see, like, your Roadhog is punishing all of these guys who are coming in. Like, that Doom got punished by our Roadhog. Who did the monkey get punished by? Your Roadhog. You have a comp that can easily punish their tanks and their DPS. So let them function like how they're supposed to. You don't need to be acting like a budget McCree. If you're going to be playing for this huge dive punish game, then just play Kree or play Junk. But you're playing Genji. So what you want to be doing is you want to be memeing around in their backline and trying to either get picks or, even better, build your Dragon Blade, which should already be at 100%. Like, you should be on your next, like, going towards your next blade, like 20% already. If you were just, like, shooting their backline and focusing their backline, like, it'd be a lot easier. Now, one thing about this advice, clearing enemies is always good, but if you don't deal with their front line or their back line, then it's going to be easier for their front line to survive. So that's, like, the double-edged sword part about it. So putting more damage into these guys does help out. But playing this punish game is very weak, right? When you could just be on these guys. Right now you use Blade, you go for the Moira, they get out. You back up because of Meteor Strike. Meteor Strike cannot kill you unless you are, like, right in the center of the strike. So don't be afraid. Like, the most you'll take is probably 80 damage, which is, like, a bit more than a dash. It's a dash and a melee. So we're going in again. Like, again, you are so inactive in these fights. Like, if you were just on top of this payload shooting these guys, like, these guys would die so much quicker. And then you'd be at 40% ult charge. But instead you back up, right? You back up all the way over here. When the fight's happening on the payload, you back up over here. Like, your teammates are, like, shooting these guys right here. All of your teammates are on this payload and trying to focus these guys. You're at full health. And I get they use Dragon Blade, but you're probably not their first target. Their first target is probably going to be killable targets or your supports. They're not going to be like, oh, I need to look for this Genji so I can kill him. No, they're not going to do that. Like, they're plat. Like, dude. So you go in right here. Like, you're trying to punish. And especially when you're trying to punish a Genji, right? You're trying to punish this Genji. And this Genji is probably at, like, 20% already. So this Genji is, like, done more than you. Straight up in this fight. He's built way more ult. He's used more ult. And he's gotten more value out of his ult. And you're trying to punish these guys who are killing your teammate. Instead, you should be trying to farm their tanks and get your ult, right? but you're sitting in your back line the entire time doing like jack squat, right? You should be up here, like just like straight up. This high ground position is so good, or even here or here, like just anywhere like near them where you can safely just get away. Like if you're like right here and then you start getting shot, you can just wall climb up here. Now you just can't get shot by them. If you're up here, you can just wall climb up this area. If right here, they can't shoot you at all, and you just farm them for free. If you're even here, just like you're close to spawn, your teammates can help you when they respawn. If you're right here, you can just back up behind the crate. You can just keep shooting them. If you're right here, you're right in the open and you can't do anything. You start shooting the monkey, does nothing. And now you're gonna die. After accomplishing not that much. So respawn right here. Again, get punched right here. You're just trying to get back. That's unlucky. Get the kill. That's amazing that he didn't kill you. And like this is what you should be doing. This is what you should have been doing, like 2 fights ago. Like this is what you should have been doing, like all the way back here. Like back here, this is what you should have been doing back here. Like back here. Back here. Like that is what you should have been doing back here. Instead, like it's what you're doing now because it's like last fight scenario. And like look how much more old you've built. In the time that you've built 40%. Okay, let's look how long it takes you to build 40% of your ult. So we're starting at 10:07. And then 10:36. So it took you about 30 seconds to build 40% of your ult. If we look at this respawn right here, you go in, take some damage, you deflect, tons of damage, right? So we're starting at, I'd say 53, 10:53, do so much damage, right? In the time that it took you to build 40% in that previous fight where you weren't doing anything, it took you about 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds. Here it took you 10 seconds to do what you did. Like, it took you 30 seconds to build ult in that previous fight where you weren't doing much, right? But if you were just a bit more active, just doing more actions, like, you would have built another blade already. And the time it took you to build 40%, you've already built 40% in 10 seconds. That's like a third of the time it took you. If you're building ult that quickly, you would have had an ult, like you would have ulted already, and you would have been like 40% already. And on your next ult, because like in those 30 seconds, you build like another 30. Then you have ult, you blow ult, then you're at another 40 ult. Like, dude, you would have built so much more ult, and you would have already used a Dragon Blade. If you were just a bit more active. If you're just doing more stuff. Go for Blade, nice kill. And also your Blade mechanics are a bit off. Like, you always hesitate on which target to go on. Just find a target, kill that target, go on the next one. It's simple. So, already, the major issues are activity. You aren't that active in fights. You are sitting in your back line, not doing that much. So then your team has to pick up on the slack. Alright. So we're a bit slow on starting here. And we already lost 2. So you have no support, so what do we need to do? The answer is we need to play slow. So playing slow means that you are not full engaging into anyone. You see this brig. They stun you. They use ult. They use not ults. They use cooldowns on you, and you easily get away. You get heals, and then you decide to engage right here. What's the problem? We're in a closed area as Genji against a hog, and anyone could have came in here, but it's very dangerous to just go into this small room because any one of them could have just looked at this area and this hog decided to come in. He hooks you. You really should have died. I think it's because your teammate came in and hooked him for you, and then you got out. But don't go in this because look at their comp. They have Orisa Hog, Junkrat. You saw the junk killed 2 people, and then you see this turret right here. So now you've gathered a lot of information. You've scouted pretty effectively, so you know what their comp is. So you know that they have Anna, they have Torb, they have Orisa Hog, and a Junkrat. So they're playing heavy poke on you, and they have a break. So you want to be a bit careful. So you need to be spamming. You need to be spamming a ton. Or better yet, you could instead be instead on being on the payload right here, you could be on a high ground spamming down their tanks and building ult. Because it's taken you 40 seconds to build 50%, when in that clutch fight, it took you 10 seconds to build 40%. So it just shows you when you're active, like when you're in clutch moments, you do really well. Like you build your ult very quickly. And that's your main win condition as Genji. You want to build that Dragon Blade. If you don't build that Dragon Blade, then like what's the point of you being there? Just like you're just a budget Hanzo. It's what makes Genji strong. Dragon Blade is what makes Genji Genji. So you go in again right here. So again, you're like memeing around on this high ground right here. At least like just try to engage these guys. Like this guy, like all 3 of these guys are worth like 1,000 damage, which is more than enough to get your ult. Just dash them. You can dash up to these guys. You can hard engage on these guys, get some ult, use deflect to back off, and then they can't do much to you because your team is already down here. Like that's a scenario where you could use, like you could just burn dash and then get value off of it. Though I will say that was like it's not too effective. So just instead of dashing, just wall climb up here and then just start shooting them. And if they shoot back, you deflect and then you get out. Instead, you dash this brig, which I guess is a killable target. Cool. She does die. That's good. Nice teabag. Right here. Like, again. This is good. This is great. Keep spamming them. But no, you back off. And now you went from being super active to being not active at all. That rotation took you 10 seconds. This rotation took you 10 seconds to do. Now the clock is at 240. And there's a shield in your ray. The tanks pushed up. Like, these guys pushed up here. You could have easily built your blade already. Instead, you took this really long route trying to get behind them. You miss a dash right there. Another missed a dash. And now you're on their back line. You get punished by the brig. I don't know how you missed that hook. You go for Nano Blade right here. Get the Anna. Nice kill, nice kill. Like that. That's pretty good. But, like, you could have done it so much earlier. Like, you didn't have to make that huge, complicated rotation. You could have just stayed. You could have just stayed right there. Just keep spamming these two. Pull Dragon Blade on them, and then they won't even have a chance to win the fight. Because once you take out Orisa, like, your hog has already picked 2 people. If you already take out the Orisa and the Anna, then they have nothing. Maybe a hog and a brig. That's it. But now you have to blow 2 ults where you could have blown 1. But you probably would have just blown Nano Blade anyways, so like you wouldn't need this beat if you just got that blade already and killed those 2. You would not need this beat. But now we have to use beat because we don't want to die. Good punish. Like, this is what Genji should be doing. And then you should be going even farther. Go for the Junkrat. Nice kill. Again, mechanics were a bit of an issue right there, but not too much. Again, like, this is what you should be doing. You should be going up on these high grounds. And, like, preferably, I can't speak. Preferably, you should be up here. Like, just, like, up on this high ground or even on top of the ship. But, like, this is what you should be doing. You should be up here. You burn deflect a bit early. I don't know what you burned it for, I guess. But, like, you were in no danger to burn that. Now, another mistake right here. Cooldown mistake. You burn deflect on nothing. You have nothing really valuable to deflect here. Besides maybe pole, but, like, why? If you were expecting maybe, like, rocket, like, flail whip, brig shift, deflect would be important, but of course they didn't. And if you're not sure on, like, whether they're gonna use deflect, not deflect, when they're gonna use, like, valuable cooldowns, you just want to use deflect just to get out, if you take a ton of damage. You also burn dash here. Again, another really bad dash. Doesn't get much accomplished, and now you're forced to get out, where you could have gotten maybe an extra 20% right here, and you would have been like 60% ult. You would have been so close to ult. You go for the Torb here, right? You go for the Torb instead of these 2 juicy tanks, which you can get so much ult charge off of. And if they go for anything, you just deflect. Now your team is going to get screwed up because you weren't pressuring their front line. Get some ult charge. Like, again, a lot of this back and forth, you decide to shoot the Roadhog, and then you immediately just go back to shoot the Zarissa. Just pick something to do. Really bad mechanic right there, but that's fine. Again, APM. Like, your APM's so low. The guy's standing still. Just shoot him, please. Just fling shurikens into them. Get your ult. This is really bad right here. So, bit unlucky right there. Not much you could have done. The trap was already there. You reacted a bit too slowly. I think increasing your APM would help you react to that. And also, it did suck you in, so that was a bit unlucky. But I want you to pay attention that you would have had your blade already if you were just more active in these fights. Your activity is very low. Also, just blade mechanics could use some work. So we get on this high ground. Like, this is a great position. This is great. You have so many sight lines that you can shoot from. Start shooting the brig, she backs off. Shoot the Torb, he backs off. Right here. Again, you're not doing anything here. You should already be on this high ground or on top of the ship. You should already be shooting down on them as Genji. And then now they're up there. Now these 2 are up there, and then you get forced out. Now you're memeing in your backline again. You're not doing much. You're playing this punish game. Like, just play Kree if you're going to be playing this punish game. Because Kree is incredibly good at punishing people. He has flashbang. You can stun people. You can burst them down with your gun. But Genji has dash. Like, you're playing such a heavy punish game. But you're not doing anything else. Like, your punish game is amazing. Like, every time you try to punish something, they, like, 70% of the time they die, which is good. That's really good. Like that, like right there, That's what you should be doing like 99% of the time. You're just keep shooting them. Build that ult. I see what you were doing there. Unlucky mechanics. It's fine. Now you have Nano Blade. We really should be engaging a lot earlier here. Your Ana thought you were going in, so you get nanoed. You Nano Blade. Get the Torb. Nice. Get the Ana. Nice. Nice. And then you back off. If you didn't back off, you would have gotten 20% off this Orisa. Or even more. Already. But now you've backed off, and now you can't do anything else. You get the Junkrat. Like, this is what you should be doing. Like, this is what you should be doing, like, 99% of the time. You should be in their faces, or, like, relatively near their faces, shooting them so you can build that ult. Don't back off. Keep going in. You stand still for a bit. Never want to stand still in this game. And then you go for this Ana, who drops immediately because of you. Which I guess is cool, but now you get punished by the Junkrat. If you just stayed on that Orisa, you would be at like 50%. Like, not joking, you would be at 50% ult if you just stayed on that Orisa. It's so easy to punish them. Alright, now we're going the Pharah. Go the Pharah now. And, alright, shoot the turret. It's basic Pharah stuff. But, like, so here's the main things you need to work on. Activity, your APM, your mechanics, and mainly just, yeah, it's mainly just activity. If you were much more active in these fights, you would be building, like, at least 3 times the amount of Dragon Blades that you usually build in these games. Like, I'm confident you would have gotten, like, 4 Dragon Blades in that first round. Because the enemy was so wide open that you could just build ult charge off of them. Like, you constantly want to just keep shooting them. Like, right here, this is what a Genji should be doing. Like, this is literally what a Genji should be doing. Just poking, constantly poking, so then they can get their ult. You want to build that ult as your win condition as Genji. Alright, now we're playing Pharah. We're spamming their shield, that's good. We use none of our cooldowns and we get killed by an Orisa right here. So, that's unlucky. And mainly just like this Pharah play is, just like could use some work. I guess you switched to the Pharah because you wanted to kill the Junk and the Torb, which was causing troubles for your team. Yeah, so Pharah's main objective, let's quickly run through this. If your team is going in, you want to be going in at the same time, and then you want to be like right above them, and that will help you build your ult really quickly, which is a win condition, and then you also just do a ton of damage to them. You go in, you spend a lot of time, you get the Ana, nice kill. You're going to kill the Tracer. You're getting your ult real quickly, and then you get killed by the Torb. Just be mindful of your surroundings. I think this is just after a year of not playing, like, a lot of your instincts go down, so you want to watch that. But yeah, so the main thing that's wrong with your Genji play is definitely your activity. You don't do anything. Like, when you're playing the game, like, your activity is so low. So one thing to improve on is definitely your activity. So how do we improve this? Well, play more aggressively. Don't be sitting in your backline. Just don't sit in your backline doing nothing. You want to play more aggressively. You want to be in their faces. You want to be shooting them at all times. How else do we fix this? You want to be playing in positions. You want to be spamming their tanks down. Just claim space. Never back off. And only back off if you absolutely need to. And this is how you min-max everything as Genji. And we're gonna go in, we're gonna die, we have ult. It's not good. Yeah, we die right here. So, unlucky. Anyways, I want to, alright, so let's just run by this again. Your activity is very low. You're not doing much in these fights. Like, these numbers right here would be so much higher if you just played a bit more aggressively, if you just had a bit more activity, if you just did more. Like, you definitely, like, these numbers would be skyrocketing. Like, I feel like you could easily get over 60 kills and, like, over 20k damage if you were just a bit more active. Just, like, playing more active, just be doing something at all times. Just spam, like, 99% of the time you should be spamming. Spamming. Getting that ult. Build that Dragon Blade. Anyways, couple last notes. Your APM is very low. If you are confident with just like building your APM, build up your APM. It's very important if you can do that. So APM is very important. Just be doing something at all times. That'll help you react when the time comes. Ult could use improvement. Mechanics always could be improved. Positioning is with the first point activity. Claiming space. And in general, just like you want to be doing something at all times. So, alright. I wanted to thank you for sending in your gameplay. And I hope I help you, and I hope you start winning more games. Alright. Thank you for sending your gameplay, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. This took quite an effort, so yeah. See you guys. Peace out.